Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of 2 active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. So this week I grabbed the Bold Blush sticker book as well as the Essential Quotes sticker book from Happy Planner, and I wanted to get started using these. I did not have time to print stickers from any of the digital media that I have. I also have a few washi tapes that I pulled that pretty much go with anything. And I have a few friction highlighters, a friction erasable pen, as well as my Muji .38. But I'm just going to jump right in. I don't really have a plan. I did just grab a couple sticker books that I wanted to work with, and then I got started. So this week I spent about an hour prepping for the week, and I haven't transferred over any of my to-dos or anything like that since I am doing this a little bit ahead of time. I usually wait until Sunday evening or Monday morning to actually put in my tasks unless I know that I'm not going to be able to get anything else done on my current task list. So the first thing that I'm doing is setting up my grid for my daily tasks for making all the plans. So I will write in those down below Monday through Sunday, and then I will use one just for decorative items. And I'm looking through the sticker book and just now remembering that it doesn't really have any decoration necessarily. It has boxes and quotes, but it doesn't really have any imagery. So I think I'm going to have to grab another book. But before I do, let me just try to find something and make it work here. I really want something to cover up part of Saturday and Sunday because if I don't, I will just write a long list of tasks, and that is definitely not what I need to do on Saturday and Sunday. I already have items that I like to accomplish over the weekend, and I like to do a little R&R on the weekend as well, so I don't want to just leave the whole day for a list of tasks. So I did decide to bring in some of this blue color as well from the Flower Power book, but I thought the blush colors went well together, and so I thought that I could marry the two books. This particular book does not have a lot of different shapes and sizes, and it also doesn't have a ton of smaller quotes, so I thought that I could mix the two books well, and I am covering up this meal planning area. I did decide to move my meal planning to the front of my packet instead of trying to squeeze it into this little area. But I am also debating on whether I am going to mix things up again in my planner. This is why I'm liking printing off my packet that I use every week. That way it's easy for me to tweak it if it's not working correctly or as functional as I would like it. And although I love the Passion Planner layout, I'm kind of needing a little bit more space to break out daily tasks. So I'm not exactly sure what layout I want to use, but I just need to mix things up a little bit. And it may just be as easy as removing the times on this Passion Planner layout, or I may go to just a typical vertical layout, or I might just do something completely different. I haven't quite decided yet, but I do know that I need to change things up a little bit so they work a little bit better. When we get to the actual me writing in my calendar for the week, you can see how it's hard to use certain spaces just based upon how meetings fall and things like that. So I just need to break things up a little bit differently, and I haven't quite figured out how I want to do that. That's one of the reasons why I switched to printing what I wanted to use each week. That way I had the flexibility to switch anytime a particular layout wasn't working for me anymore. So, like I said, I might just take out the times on the Passion Planner and give it a go, or I might switch over to like a typical Happy Planner vertical layout, or I might just try something completely different. So we'll see what next week brings, but I'm going to use this one more week and just see where it takes me. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just draw a highlighted box around the appointments that I have scheduled for the week. And I do fast forward through this because it is a little time consuming looking at my calendar on my computer screen and matching it up with the times here on the calendar. And I do use the erasable friction highlighter because my meetings change frequently. Kids' soccer and softball schedules change frequently, so it's good to have the erasable option. Thursday and Friday don't look horrible. Saturday and Sunday, we don't really have anything going on yet. The games and meets and whatnot have not begun yet, so our weekends are still pretty open. But as you can see, Monday and Tuesday are really crazy, and I'll have like a half an hour or 45-minute meeting, and then I'll have like 15 minutes in between or a half an hour in between. And it's really hard for me to put a group of tasks into my planner that I want to accomplish for the day in between those little tiny, like in that little spot that's left between meetings. So I really would prefer to keep my meetings together and then have a space to write my tasks for each day. But I don't think that I want to do a separate layout per day. That just seems like a lot to fill out. And I already feel a little overwhelmed by this packet and keeping up with it. And I've already been trying to think of ways that I can still accomplish everything that I want to track and to do in a more streamlined process. So hopefully I'll be able to make some changes that work better for me coming up, but it's all trial and error, and different seasons of life call for different things in your planner. And I know I talked about putting an image on Saturday and Sunday, and then I got sidetracked, so I am now getting back to that. But again, I just want to cover up some of those lines since we don't have anything on the schedule on a specific time. So I want to cover up some of that area so that I don't overschedule my weekend days and don't leave any time to rest or have downtime. So I did grab this bigger floral, and I'm also going to grab this blush box, and then I'm going to find a quote to go in it. And I did go ahead and move that up to the top area just because there wasn't any decoration up there in the top area. Sometimes I try to spread things around, sometimes I don't worry about it, but I thought since it didn't matter which time of the day I covered up, I did just go ahead and put it at the top. And I was able to find a quote from this Essential Quote sticker book. Unfortunately, I went to put it down and it kind of grabbed the paper where I didn't really want it to. So it was up at the top, and I decided to just go with it instead of getting my undo out for this, and then just put another image down below the quote just to balance it out. I didn't want that just open white space to be there. So I grabbed this bigger floral and decided that was too much, and then just grabbed one of the green leaves to go underneath it. I will grab my white gel pen just to white out those numbers around the leaf, just so that it looks less busy. And before I move on to the next section in my planner packet, I just like to lay it out and give it a look over and make sure everything is somewhat balanced. I have filled in the things that I can fill in so far. And then I did go ahead and highlight the days of the week for my making all the plans section. Then I'm going to flip over to my faith area, and I have been talking about changing up this page for quite a while, and hopefully I'll have time to do that this week as I'm changing up some other things in my packet. But I really enjoy the prayer list, but the rest of the part down below where it's kind of a reflection area, that is something that I do not have time to fill out every week. It was originally meant to be a monthly reflection, and I liked the inspiration of it, but it is just not something that I can do on a weekly basis. So I will probably keep the prayer list and do something different down below, or I might move the prayer list somewhere else. I'm really trying to make the packet a little bit thinner as well, so if I could condense some things, that would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate this area. I really like to decorate this area because I like a little bit of decor while I am praying through my prayer list each day. I am usually keeping it much simpler than this, but I'm having fun with these stickers and I'm really liking the idea to cut these stickers so that you can have them poking out from behind the washi tape. And this isn't anything new, it's just not something I've done in a while. So I thought that I would change things up a little bit and go ahead and put a little more decor on the page than I normally would. And I feel like this is a way to stretch your supplies. So if you don't have a lot of stickers at hand, or if you want to use a particular theme of sticker but have already used them before and don't have a lot left, I feel like if you do cut them in half like this, they just go a lot further, and it's just something a little different for the page. And here I'm just cutting out some of those extra leaves so that I can tuck them into places that were a little bare. And I don't normally do very much decor on these pages. These pages I use for my weekly prayer as well as the Bible verse of the day. And I did decide that I would decorate these a little more than I normally would, but I wanted to do that same treatment that I did on that front page of my faith section. I wanted to go ahead and run some washi tape and then have the flowers coming out of the washi tape. So even though I put this on the spine edge of the planner pages, I did leave a little bit of space off the edge just so when I punched them, it didn't take away as much of the washi tape, if that makes sense. So I did just leave a little bit of a gap from the edge there, trim down the washi tape, and next I'm going to go ahead and do that same treatment where I am cutting the flowers in half or thereabouts and using them on different parts of the page, kind of popping out of that washi tape. So in this area, I am going to use the clear stickers, partially because I don't have to worry about too many of the lines. I did white out one of these darker black lines, but the rest of the lines I'm not going to worry about. But I also wasn't sure if I was going to have enough of the paper stickers left that I had used in the other places. And the other thing is, I'm not very good at mixing paper stickers with the clear stickers, so I thought I would just go with the clear stickers here. I figured I would use more here than I had in the other places, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough to finish the whole line. But my thought was to kind of make a almost like a full bouquet down the washi tape stripes on both sides of the page. So this is definitely the part that took me the longest, and it was just because I was enjoying myself. I actually scrapbooked earlier in this particular day, and I was just enjoying using my supplies, enjoying the crafting, and just being able to relax with all of my tools and creative supplies. I had Call of the Midwives on in the background while I was doing all my crafting today. So I just enjoyed myself, took my time, and put these stickers down. I don't always have this kind of time, but my daughter was at a sleepover and my son was just playing some video games. My husband was smoking a pork shoulder for us. So we all had our own things. I didn't have to run anybody after I dropped my daughter off for her sleepover, so I just took the time and enjoyed myself today. Softball practice and soccer practices have already begun, and track practice I think starts in a week. So my daughter is doing both track and softball, and my son is playing club soccer. So I know that it is going to be a crazy busy spring. So I just thought while we had a little bit of downtime, I would do some things that I enjoyed. Granted, there are 100 things I could be doing around the house, but instead I did just take my time and go through my scrapbooking supplies and got those all reorganized, and I got reacquainted with them because it's been so long since I've touched them. And then, like I said, I just was enjoying the process, so I took my time here today doing this spread. So if you are crafters and you have lots of supplies, let me know how you keep things organized. I am like mid-project and multiple things on the scrapbooking front. And honestly, I just wanted to do a couple quick pages, and I knew that I had set myself up to be able to do that in the past. But honestly, I couldn't remember the system that I had put in place because it had been so long. So, really, most of my time today was just getting reorganized and reacquainted with those things. I had also cleaned up a little bit, but in the process of cleaning up, I had also mixed up a few things. So now that everything is straightened back up again, I feel like if I did have an hour or an hour and a half to do a little bit of scrapbooking, I actually could get a page or two just completely done in that time period. So I'm very excited about that. I have been working on some photo maintenance as well, so I'll share more with that in upcoming videos, but it was a good day. Have you ever it wasn't a super productive day, but it just felt like you really got something important accomplished? That's how today felt for me. And it was also a plus because I was kind of coming off of a high from yesterday because I had this specific list of things I wanted to get done for work before the weekend hit, and I got everything done off of my to-do list. And a few reasons why I was able to do that was I did not overreach. I actually wrote down the things that absolutely needed to get done off of my plate, and I was realistic about those things that I could actually get done. And then as I was making my to-do list, as other things came along, I just made a separate note for them over in the side on a separate piece of paper. I didn't even think about putting it into Notion or anything like that. I didn't spend the time doing that. I literally just hammered through my to-do list for work, and then once I was done, I actually then took that list and wrote down all the tasks that I had that were follow-ups or the next steps of the projects that I had been working on. But I feel like I'm in a good place and I have good momentum going. But let me be honest, yesterday when I got all that accomplished, I didn't even touch my planner. Like, the planner itself was overwhelming to me. I just took a blank piece of paper, wrote out the tasks. I did look through my planner and I looked through my Notion list just to make sure I wasn't missing anything that was absolutely necessary. But then I put my planner to the side, I closed Notion, and I just worked off that task list. It was a little bit freeing and just made my Friday go much smoother. And I was just very happy to be able to get done what I got done yesterday. So I guess what I'm trying to do is bottle this and continue it forward next week. Okay, so we got the weekly spread done and we have the faith area done. Now I am jumping back to the very front of my planner for the week. And I did decide to carry that theme through here. I'm just going to put another piece of washi tape, and then the florals are going to come off that on the bottom side. This is where I'm debating on whether or not I move the prayer list to this page. So then I have my goals and the prayer list right on this front page. And then I would be able to get rid of a page each week from my packet. It would still be the same amount of things, the same amount that I would fill out. It would just be one less sheet of paper. So I do want to mention that I am doing all this, but you need to do what works for you. And I have changed my planner and my planner pages and all the things. I've changed them multiple times, and I just need to make it work for me so that I can be productive. You just need to do what works best for you. Take everybody's ideas and then only keep what you want to do, what is working for you, and what you can afford, and what you have time to do. One of my favorite planner times in my life, I used just a basic notebook, like what you would use in high school. It just had grid paper in it instead of plain line paper. And every day I would sit down and I would write out all my tasks, even if they were a repeat from the day before, anything I didn't get done the day before and wanted to do that day, I would just write it over again, and I would highlight the things as I completed them. And then the next day I'd turn to the next page, start again, and then look back at those pages where I hadn't highlighted things. And then every week or couple weeks, I would just do a brain dump and write everything down that I hadn't completed previously that I still want to make sure that I got done at some point. And then I'd start again. I'd write the date at the top of the next new page, and then I would write out all the things that I wanted to do that day. And when I was doing that, I included all of my routines. So when I was working out, I would include the workouts, it would include watering plants, it would include taking my vitamins. I literally wrote that out every single day. And that was during COVID and when we were at home every day, so I had a little bit of extra time when I wasn't driving in the car and I wasn't driving my kids places. I don't feel like I have time to rewrite that every day, which is why I have those routines already printed and in my planner. But I was very productive then, and it wasn't just because it was during COVID and I had more time. That notebook really did work for me. So I can foresee a time in my future where I do just go back to that method, and I don't necessarily need the planner for all the extra stuff if the kids are out of the house. A lot of the stuff in my planner is to track things for the kids. So, like I said, I just feel like you just make your planner work for you in the phase of life that you're in currently. And if it's not working for you, then feel free to change it up. Just because you bought some specific planner that you thought was going to save everything, fix everything, if it doesn't, feel free to change it. That doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy another $80 planner or anything like that, but you can just get a notebook or white out sections in the planner that doesn't work for you or cover it up with a white piece of paper. But feel free, it's your planner. You need to do what works best for you and that can help you be the most productive in your day. And I will get back down off my soapbox. I really like to help people figure out what kind of planner they need the most. And I also talk to my friends about it and tell them that they don't have to use that planner the way that you buy it. It is completely up to you how you use a planner, and feel free to tweak these things that you purchase. One of my last trips with my bestie, we actually looked at the planner she was currently using and we talked about what was working and what wasn't working. And we were able to come up with some easy tweaks to make her system even more functional for her. So on this page that I'm decorating right now, I do like to write out my goals for the week. I usually write one for making all the plans, one for my personal life, and one for work. And then currently I am using this front page for my meal plans, so I will go ahead and write those in tomorrow. And I will go ahead and put a grocery order in if I need to. We're trying to eat out of the freezer, and I think I have plenty of fruits and vegetables and milk. So I don't think I'm going to have to make a grocery order this weekend, which will be nice. And I could have just stopped with this spread here, but I did want to go ahead and get a quote down on this page. And then I decided to go ahead and put some more florals down around this meal plan box. And the last thing that I am going to do is put a little box at the top so that I can write menu or dinner plans or something like that at the top. But once I get this down, I am going to flip back to the prayer section and I'm just going to put in one little quote on that page as well. I saw that Have Faith quote and decided that I would just go ahead and drop that in since I thought it was very fitting. But after that, that's my packet for the week. And let me know down below what you're using and if you're ready to make a tweak to your system. So this is my packet for the week. I will punch it and put it in my planner tomorrow, but I like how it looks. It is a little springy, but I feel like it's starting to get a little warmer out here. I'm sure we'll have another cold snap before it gets to be spring, but I'm really liking how these florals are brightening my spreads. So I hope that everybody has a great week. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!